A major update on Eddie Kingston's severe leg injury, with the AEW star expected to be out of action for up to 9 months. Gunther advances to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Meanwhile, Lyra Valkyria has advanced to the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Plenty of details, hidden clues and surprises in Uncle Howdy's latest QR code on Monday Night Raw last night. TKO President Mark Shapiro confirms an expansion of the WWE Saudi Arabia deal. Braun Breaker sends his opponent home in an ambulance last night on Monday Night Raw. Sonya Deville makes the first appearance on WWE television for 10 months after a injury hiatus, and Mark Henry's contract with AEW is reportedly set to expire soon. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Eddie Kingston and a major update on the former Ring of Honor World Champion's severe leg injury. Now, after suffering an injury at New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence earlier this month in a post-match attack by the Elite as well, Eddie Kingston knew he'd be out for a while after the diagnosis of a fractured tibia. Unfortunately for Kingston, a report from PW Insider details that the extent of the injury is far worse, with the Mad King also suffering tears to the ACL and meniscus in his knee as well. The knee damage will require surgery, and while he had been initially indicating a hope to return by AEW All In London at Wembley Stadium in late August, Kingston is now looking at roughly a 9-month recovery period, which would keep him out for far longer, approximately until early 2025. The PW Insider report was based on word straight from the man himself, with Kingston telling the outlet, quote, "This is part of the game, injuries happen, I will be back." Now, prior to getting hurt, Kingston was set to join forces with Bryan Danielson and FTR at Double or Nothing in the Anarchy in the Arena match against the Elite, but he was replaced on last week's episode of Dynamite by a returning Darby Allin, and will now have no choice but to take that match in from the sidelines, along with several others thereafter, given the lengthy hiatus he is now facing. Now let's talk about the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, beginning with the King of the Ring tournament involving former Intercontinental Champion Gunther. Main event Jey Uso took Gunther in the semi-finals of the King of the Ring tournament Monday night on Raw, with the winner moving on to the finals in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on May 25th. The fans were firmly behind Uso in the main event. Gunther dominated early with his patented chops, but Uso quickly took over with his rapid offense. After Uso went shoulder first into the ring post, however, Gunther focused on his right arm, driving him into the steel steps and the barricade in quick succession. Gunther continued to focus on the arm, which left Uso unable to perform a superplex or a Samoan drop from the top rope. Eventually, Uso was able to land a pair of super kicks that left Gunther down in the corner, but Gunther went back to his opponent's arm by putting him in an armbar. Later, Gunther ducked a spear and hit a released German suplex, followed by a splash off the top rope, but Uso kicked out. Gunther returned to his calling card of repeated chops. Uso slapped him in the face, and an incensed ring general chopped him repeatedly in the corner. Uso finally nailed a spear, but Gunther inadvertently hit the ref on his way down to the mat. Uso followed up with a splash, but the referee was still down. He got up and counted to 2, but Gunther kicked out. Gunther was then able to get Uso into a sleeper to win and advance to the finals on Saturday at the King and Queen of the Ring event in Saudi Arabia. He will face either Tama Tonga or Randy Orton, who will do battle in their own semi-final bout this Friday on SmackDown, also from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Now let's talk about the Queen of the Ring tournament, as Lyra Valkyria continues her main roster momentum, because former NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria is moving on to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia for her chance at the Queen of the Ring crown after defeating former WWE Women's Champion Io Sky on Raw. The former NXT star will face off in the finals of the tournament at the upcoming PLE on Saturday against either Nia Jax or Bianca Belair of SmackDown, after defeating Zoe Stark in the quarterfinals last week and toppling Sky on Monday. The NXT called-up used her gymnastic skills against Sky to start off the match and got in plenty of offense. She got Sky in a submission hold in the middle of the ring before the woman traded counters and pinfall attempts. Sky got Valkyria in a crossface, the same move the former NXT champion tapped to lose her championship to Roxanne Perez prior to her main roster call-up, but Valkyria was able to kick out. Sky got in a flurry of offense herself, including a moonsault from the ring apron and a meteora in the corner to Valkyria, but she wasn't able to hit a moonsault in the middle of the ring. Sky did counter a move of Valkyria's into a powerbomb, but couldn't capitalize quick enough for the pin. She missed another moonsault attempt with Valkyria moving out of the way. After dodging the moonsault, Valkyria looked for the Nightwing. Sky attempted to counter, but Valkyria stacked her up in the middle of the ring for the victory. She moves on to face the winner of the SmackDown side of the bracket on Saturday in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Now, let's talk about the latest clues in the Uncle Howdy QR codes from last night's edition of Raw, and my oh my, are there plenty of them. Now, another episode of WWE programming, another QR code leading to a lengthy trail of clues, all seemingly pointing towards Uncle Howdy, and now, more than ever, other members of his new faction. As the Chad Gable vs. Sami Zayn match opened Monday's edition of Raw that went to commercial break, the code quickly flashed on the screen alongside the newspaper clipping that we've seen about the missing therapist, with the byline attributed to Wendy Lucha, of course, an anagram of Uncle Howdy. Now, scanning the QR code takes viewers to the URL www.ECGPRAMSTOR, and deducing that slug is an anagram for spectrogram. Keep that thought, because that will come in handy later on down the path. Now, if you go into this page, it takes you to this right here. It takes you to something that says hello, and then begins a survey featuring the following series of yes or no questions. So the first one is, can you ever truly be free? The next one is, have you ever lost your way? The next one is, did you find your way back? The next one is, do you want to be better? The next one is, do you know that I'm proud of you? The next one says, is love unconditional? It continues by saying, have they been set free? They, probably referring to this Uncle Howdy faction. It then also flashes up with this little, again, glimpse that we kind of saw from the Twitch video the other day of clearly maybe Uncle Howdy or some kind of new mask, some kind of new character, but it looks like the same kind of person that was involved in the therapist session that we saw on Twitch previously. The questions continue by saying, do you believe? And finally, do you want to meet them? Now, once the questions are through, if you answer them correctly, it then renders to a page saying this, soon, and below that are 10 clickable blank boxes that lead to even more content and clues, including this cipher that you can see right there. And thanks to the online sleuths on social media, they've cracked this cipher, and it states, quote, a puppet is free as long as he loves his string. Now, there are also these separate audio files that, when run through a spectrogram, they reveal a file named ICU2 that then leads to some pretty interesting and memorable images. Take a look at what these sounds, what these noises reveal. Yes, that's right. If you couldn't see it right there, we can actually continue this. So, first of all, it contains this, the Bray Wyatt 6 upside down moth logo. So if you're getting any kind of ideas as to who's involved in this, yes, it is a continuation of the Bray Wyatt legacy. We also see this. So this is a close-up version of what appears to be Uncle Howdy's face. Once again, seemingly confirming that, again, this is all about Uncle Howdy. Now, it continues because from there, the links in the boxes only get more intriguing, bizarre, and downright creepy. One continues to this, a newspaper article positioned adjacent to the Wendy Lucha piece titled Study Sees Negative Results. And it's actually an experiment. It's a cruel and evil experiment that actually took place in 1965 when Josie Laws and Antoine Seni set new records for time spent alone in a cave. The text of the story includes lines such as, I saved them, give me a little more time, I must give them the opportunity to repent, I hope for their sake they do. It also features an image that appears to refer to Plato's famous allegory of the cave as well. Now, elsewhere is this sheet of notebook paper with liar, liar scratched out in red and black marker. It contains the word WhatsApp 5.22 scrawled in the corner, likely suggesting another clue dropping on Wednesday. Now, there's also a quick video showing the veiled visage of a mysterious female figure that we've seen recently. The source code that contains an anchor link to the word door with an H1 tag. There's also a piece of paper, this piece of paper here, with this symbol that we've seen over and over and over again. Now, you might not be able to see it right there. If you sort of zoom in on it, you should be able to see it better. There are coordinates with it that have 39.7100N and 75.1192W. Now, if you actually type those coordinates in, you get something pretty interesting. Now, if you type in these coordinates, you get this right here, which again is very interesting. It points to Glassboro, New Jersey, which happens to be the location of Rowan University. Likely a not so subtle reference to the rumored returning partner and former Wyatt family member Eric Rowan. Now, there is also this piece of paper here with Wendy Lucho written on it, along with tick marks in each letter, perhaps showing its author working out the anagram before attributing it to the newspaper article. Now, also interestingly as well, we've got this right here. This is seemingly new merchandise from WWE, pointing to this brand new faction that's about to come and debut on WWE television. WWE has released two new shirts. And while the artwork doesn't appear to match any current member of the roster, it could make more sense in the future. The shirts, which both display the words "I set them free," along with similar bird designs, feel of a piece of the recent spate of teases for the upcoming faction that might include Uncle Howdy and other characters from the universe of former WWE champion Bray Wyatt. So we get any more details on that, of course, in the future, we'll let you know. But what do you think of all of these new teases, the new hints in the latest QR codes from Uncle Howdy? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, we spoke about this previously, this expansion of the relationship between WWE and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And following news of expansion, Endeavor and TKO President Mark Shapiro has confirmed the nature of this agreement between WWE and Saudi Arabia. Of course, WWE will return to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia this Saturday, May 25th, for the King and Queen of the Ring Premium Live event. The night prior, they will present an episode of Friday Night SmackDown from Jeddah as well. Ahead of the event, Turki Al-Sheikh, the chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, revealed that the country was looking to bring WrestleMania or Royal Rumble to Saudi in the future. On the 52nd annual JP Morgan Global Technology, Media and Communications Conference, Endeavor and TKO President Mark Shapiro officially stated the public can look for a WWE expanded relationship with Saudi Arabia in the next 6 to 12 months. He said, quote, "You've seen us monetize site fees with the likes of Saudi Arabia for WWE. You can look for us to expand our current deal in the next 6 to 12 months. Very happy with MBS and the partnership we have there. We have 2 events a year, but we're already in discussions. Nick Khan is leading that for us in expanding that to more events. We also have a phenomenal deal in Abu Dhabi with the UFC, where we're getting significant site fees and incentive packages there. On top of that, we're getting site fees for our pay-per-views in the UFC, significant by the way, and here in the US and internationally, but specifically here in the US, we're going to start asking for those same incentive packages to bring Raw to town, to bring SmackDown to town, to bring our fight nights to town. So expect more when it comes to WWE and their relationship with Saudi Arabia in the future. Now, going back to Raw last night, Braun Breaker certainly made a statement, and it's one out of frustration, seemingly. Out to prove that it was a mistake to have left him out of the King of the Ring tournament, Braun Breaker was out for vengeance in his first post-draft match on Raw. Braun Breaker took on NXT Level Up regular Kale Dixon in Dixon's Raw debut, and things certainly did not go Dixon's way. After a beatdown by Breaker, the referee determined that Dixon could no longer compete and the match was called off. However, Breaker's thirst for violence was not quenched as he continued the assault after the bell, including hitting Dixon with a steel chair while his head was in the ring steps. The show went to commercial break with Breaker standing tall and Dixon about to be loaded onto a stretcher. After the break, there was more from the scene as Dixon was loaded into an ambulance and driven away before Raw General Manager Adam Pearce confronted Braun Breaker. Breaker told Pierce that he couldn't control him and again reminded Pierce that he should have been in the tournament. So seemingly, Braun Breaker may have had a lot of frustration with Adam Pearce. Now, Sonya Deville is back on WWE television for the first time in 10 months. Yes, Sonya Deville, obviously a feature of WWE's women's division for many years, is now back. And WWE might have lost Rhea Ripley to the injury bug, but reinforcements for the women's division have arrived on Raw. Now, rumors from PW Insider on Monday alluded to former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Sonya Deville being backstage. The rumors turned out to be true during Monday's episode. And Deville was seen backstage propositioning Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, introducing herself to the latter, with Baszler saying she wasn't interested in what Deville had to say. Deville tore her ACL in July last year in the middle of her tag title reign alongside Chelsea Green. She was replaced by Piper Niven in that tag team, who claimed one half of the championship without actually having won it. A late May/early June return would have been about in line for her recovery time for an ACL tear. Deville has been contracted to WWE since 2015, but has never won a singles title in the promotion. Her former partner Green, along with Niven, were recently drafted to SmackDown. And finally, Mark Henry's contract with All Elite Wrestling reportedly is soon set to expire. Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp is told that Mark Henry's AEW contract is expected to expire this month. The WWE Hall of Famer signed with AEW in 2021 and debuted at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view on May 30 of that year. He has worked as an analyst, coach, scout, and mentor during his time with the company. Henry's on-screen role has mainly been as an interviewer/personality on AEW Rampage. He is also a regular on Busted Open Radio. The former World Heavyweight Champion has not wrestled since WWE's Greatest Royal Rumble event in 2018, and he's not had a singles match since February 2017. Henry has teased returning to the ring for one last match, but he said he doesn't know what it would take to make that match happen. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey, guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.